Hey everybody, Sawyer189 here, starting up this new channel focused on movies and TV related content. And I wanted to go ahead and do a review for the first season of Mayans MC, which for you guys that don't know, it is a spin-off series from a popular TV show called Sons of Anarchy that originally aired on FX, and it went for about 7 seasons, 6, I think 7. And now we have a spin-off series called Mayans. And if you need a little bit more background information, Sons of Anarchy and Mayans are both shows, are both criminal crime dramas about focusing on the actual criminals, focusing on these Merso gangs, MCs, or Merso clubs, MC. And they're basically, the Sons is a primarily white Merso gang set like in North Cali, I believe. And then the Mayans is a primarily Hispanic Mexican biker gang set. They're rooted in South Cali, so it's interesting because the two shows are very similar in tone and in their themes and everything like that. And they're in the same world. I mean, they connect with each other. They talk. They meet each other sometimes. But they are kind of a little bit far apart from each other geographically. So it's interesting. It's very interesting. And it's interesting how being set in that other different part of the state or whatever makes for such a different show, really. And it's really interesting. And that is one of the best things about the show, in my opinion, is the culture of like what's going on with the characters and stuff. Because like I said, most of the characters are either Mexican or they're of some descent from that. So you get a lot of we go to Mexico like almost every episode. So you get a lot of that culture and a lot of that background in the show, and it's something that I don't really know a whole lot about. I'll be honest, but it's something that it's interesting to watch, and I don't see it on very many other shows that I watch or movies that I watch. So it is a really interesting insight to see. I don't know how accurate it is. I mean, maybe somebody that actually lives in Mexico might be like, "Oh, that show's bullshit." Brr. I don't know, but it's interesting nonetheless. And another thing that's really interesting about the show is, it takes a book from Sons of Anarchy. It gets it has some really great cinematology, really great camera work. Just the tone, man. Like they do such a good job of giving you this kind of outlaw, survival of the fittest tone. Um, it's just the way like the music choices are usually always really good. Both shows have amazing montages all the time, but really good song choices. Um, and just like the aesthetic of the show is really beautiful. It looks nice, and it looks nice in the parts where it's supposed to look nice, and the parts where it's not supposed to look nice, it doesn't look nice. It looks run down, beat up, like lots of history behind every set piece, every prop. You can just feel the history of everything oozing out, the characters in the set props, or the backgrounds, the backdrops. It's really interesting. That's one thing I really like about it. And a little thing that they do in the show, and I'm trying to keep this kind of spoiler light. Well, actually, it's a review, so I probably won't keep it spoiler light. But one thing I do like about the show is that like every episode has some kind of animal that pops up, usually multiple times in the episode, and it's usually symbolic in some way with a theme or idea that's going on within the episode. Like for example, there's one episode where a rat pops up. There's a rat that pops up multiple times throughout the story, and that particular episode deals a lot with Easy, the main character, who's basically an informant for the DA while he's in the gang because he's trying to make a deal because he was in prison. And he's trying to stay out of prison. So it's interesting because he's basically a rat in their culture, and the episode is called Rat. And it also deals a lot with shows a rat walking through, passing over corpses and stuff throughout the episode. So I just like that symbology they do within the show. With that being said, I enjoy the show. I thought it was great. It's a great crime drama. You get a lot of you get a lot of the murder, and you get a lot of the savagery of that world. You get a lot of but you also get some of the good aspects. I won't say good aspects, but you also get some of the strong qualities from that world. You get the sense of brotherhood, friendship, loyalty that they all have. All these bikers have for each other. Same thing we had with Sons. It takes a little. I will say that I feel like with Sons, we got introduced to everybody quicker, and we learned what we need to learn about the characters much quicker. And this show, they seem to really be taking their time developing certain characters, while other characters get a lot more screen time. And it's okay, I guess, but I don't know. Like I feel like Sons is a little bit more well rounded with its character development. Um, where Mayans, after the first 10 episodes, because the first season's like 10 episodes, there's certain characters I still don't even know their names, but they're in the main cast, and I don't even really like know anything about them outside of like what they look like or whatever. That was something that I was a little disappointed in that they didn't develop everybody a little bit more. Like certain characters, like all of the characters that are basically were working with the rebels, like undercover or whatever. They get a lot of screen time. Like Coco gets a lot of development, and Angel and Easy, of course, get lots of development. Gilly, not so much, but he's still. We start to see it more and more in the last couple episodes. Outside of those characters, the other MC members don't really get focused on them very much. We get a tiny bit about Bishop. I actually like Bishop though. Bishop's kind of cool. But we get a tiny bit about him, like his relationship with the mayor and how there's some history there, stuff like that. But it's very small little pieces of hunks of history and like character development that gets scattered around. But yeah, like I really do enjoy the season though. Like the whole cartel aspect of the season with with Guendo, the cartel, whatever. They were interesting. I feel like I don't like how they focus so much on them though. Like there's some episodes where it's almost all about Miguel, his wife Emily, and like the security detail guy and his advisor. It's like they're like all in the episode. Like the show actually kind of feels split between that story, that plot device, and that storyline, those characters with the MC. Now, though they are very connected within the story, they work together, they see each other all the time, but it just feels weird that the show is so split apart between those two factions or groups of characters, or they divide so much time. And I really did find that the cartel stuff wasn't as interesting to watch. I wasn't as invested in it as I was the MC stuff. Like Miguel's Miguel's a cool character, but I just don't really necessarily care to watch him as much as I do like Bishop and Easy and Angel and stuff. Another thing that I thought was kind of annoying in this show was, and it got better as it went, but like the first 4 episodes the first 4 episodes have Angel and Easy's dad, played by John Omos, however you say his name. Like really great actor, by the way, and he does a great job in this show. But the first like 4 or 5 episodes, every episode, his appearance in the episode is the same kind of appearance. Like he's working in his butcher shop. One of his sons comes to talk to him, and they go in the butcher room where it's closed off so nobody hears them, and talk about sensitive subject matter. Or it's the FBI or DA handler guy comes to talk to them in the butcher shop inside that room. It's always like in that room are the same 2 sets, and it's always like kind of the same thing. It's always some character comes to him for advice or just to like to bullshit or something or to tell him something, and it just felt kind of like, I don't know, it just felt forced. I felt like they were just kind of forcing a scene with him in every episode. I'm like, we don't need him in every episode. He's a great character. I don't want him to die or anything, but we don't need to see him in every single episode. And he is pretty much in every episode. But they did a better job after the first few episodes of making different situations for him to be in. So I did enjoy that. But at first I was like, man, it's just another scene of him sitting in the butcher shop, closing the door, putting the close sign on the door, walking to the back, cooler area, and having a conversation with somebody. That was like every episode. I was getting really annoyed by that. But that was just that's a little bit more of a minor quirk that I had. But yeah. In closing, because I was trying that. I don't really only get too spoiler heavy on the way the season ends. But I really enjoyed it. We got some cameos sprinkled throughout the season of different Sons of Anarchy characters. Some of the cameos were very small. There's one towards the end that actually is going to have a big impact in the series, I feel like, going into season 2. And that was really cool. Because I think the way season 1 ends, I think we're going to see more of the Sons in season 2, like have a bigger part in the narrative. So that's really cool, and excited to see that. But as standalone characters, they're all it's a great show, good characters. It has a great culture and themes and background to it. I really love the cinematology. Like I said, some beautiful shots, beautiful musical montages. But even the title song, I love it. It sounds great, and it kind of gives you a feel and a certain kind of tone of what to expect. Really excited for season 2, and I feel like this is a show that, even though Sons of Anarchy had a lot of viewership, even sometimes I feel like that even that show didn't get as much exposure as it could have got. But this show feels like, I don't know, like I think people watch it, but I just don't hear people talk about it as much. Like it's really not something that, like some shows like Breaking Bad and I don't know, Arrow and all that. People talk about it all the time. Like you have discussions about it. People make videos about it all the time. But this show feels like it's something that just doesn't get as much exposure on the interwebs and social media. I don't know why that is, but or maybe I'm just not looking in the right places. But I think it's a great show. I think if you're not watching it, you should watch it. Uh, it's a great criminal drama. Dark. It's got a very dark humor to it. Very dark. Atmosphere to it. But it has strong themes once again. And yeah, definitely check it out, guys. It plays on FX. I believe it plays on Tuesday nights. I'm not sure. I just buy it digitally and watch it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. This is my review for Mayans season 1. If I have to give a rating, if I had to give a star rating, I'd give it about a 7. It's not quite perfect, but it is very, very good. And if you like this genre of like crime, gang warfare type stuff, you're probably really going to enjoy this. And if you have any kind of like connection to that culture, you probably will like it, or you'll probably hate it, depending on your stance. But it's interesting nonetheless, and I advise you to check it out. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys later.